Hello and welcome everybody back once again to another Trackalicious Sunday GT3 Next Level Racing Championship powered by Trackalicious. I'm Mike Noss, joined alongside me tonight is none other than the Carson Cass. We're back, baby. Carson, how are you doing tonight?
I am exhausted, but you know what? The White Sox won today, so I'm feeling absolutely excellent. Nothing could get me down from this. I got to go to the game today. A lot of fun, and just hoping for a lot of fun here on track tonight. We've got plenty of good drivers out there, and we're going to have plenty of good racing for you here in store, folks.
We got some names that I'm familiar with and some names that I'm not familiar with. It's been a while since I've been in the booth, so a big warm welcome to everybody joining us here tonight. Hope everyone's having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. I see we got Doc Milwee still out in chat. Love to see it, Doc Milwee. Thank you so much for being here, of course. We also have a new subscriber in Inivai, my apologies on the mispronunciation there, but also joining us as a first-time chatter. Big warm welcome there. Tonight, we go to Oulton Park. We head on over to the UK for a battle at a 2.6 mile or 4.3 kilometer circuit. 17 corners, 6 to the left and 11 to the right. It is a corkscrew track with very low overtaking chances at the best of times. Oh, we also have a new subscriber, Norian Stuff. Thank you so much for joining the team here at Trackalicious. A big warm welcome to you. But we talk Oulton Park here. Tough to overtake, but there's still chances. The Shell Oil Corner has good opportunities. Obviously, we know about Cascades down into Britain's, the challenges there, Carson. But all the way around, a very well-balanced track for the drivers to tackle tonight.
Yeah, you're talking a lot about turning left. That's my certain section here. But, I mean, you're just kind of going around, and these overtaking positions are hard. You can even tell behind us. The track is thin, and it only gets thinner in certain parts of the track you are overtaking. And it feels not so great when you're with another person trying to levy for position and all that stuff. So it's going to be really important on the start for these drivers. But we'll have to see just how these drivers play it, because you can make those overtakes and you can get there later in the race. But sandbagging not as welcome here at Oulton Park when you've got about a rock and a hard place to try and get through between two drivers.
Yeah, it can be sort of like crossing through the river Styx at times. The death is not far away, basically, throughout the entirety. You can see the chicane in the background. One of the more challenging parts of this track, and throughout it, it has one of the best corner names as well. Yes, it is Knickerbrook, and you guessed it, it is because of a pair of knickers, which, for anyone in the U.S., that is a pair of underpants or undergarments found in a creek nearby, or a brook. And that's where it got its name, the UK. You love to see it, folks. They're original as always. And, well, this track, I don't think this was actually a World War II fighter base, if I remember right. Was this a tank base, or is that Donington? I don't remember. Either way, it's not in my notes, so we'll pay no mind to that. We do have a qualifying session, though, Carson. Why don't we head on down to track and talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, a little more about the UK, honestly. The only thing I really know about this place is the account Footy Scran on X, where they just talk about soccer stadiums and their food. And you get some good ones, which you call Scran, and Chandler Williams, the American in the Mustang right here. Bit of a Scran performance here, a really tight grid. 9 drivers within 1 second here. Jay Clifford, though, a full 3/10 behind the drivers. I'm going to say how long the margin was to first place, and then everybody is just taking back first place as we repeatedly just go back and forth. Dianarte back to 2/10 down after being just 200ths up.
Yeah, and this is a track where margins are typically not as close as this. So seeing this caliber, obviously, this is down to the talent. We're looking right now at Williams, who's dead even with Kelly pretty much in the times. Also, I want to throw a couple of shout-outs. Of course, I know we're going to have a lot of returning chatters through here the night. Jacob Curtis, big shout-out to you. Yes, indeed. You have not traveled back to the mid-2024s. It feels like the first time. It feels like the very first time. Something like that. Avoiding trademarks. I don't know. That song came out before Carson. Heck, that song came out before I was born, so not quite.
I was going to say, you're Unk for now. I'm getting there. I feel like I'm getting there every day.
Well, age is not getting reversed, Carson. That's for sure. But still got a couple years, of course. Want to mention, though, as well, of course, we got plenty of these drivers out on track. Look at this, though. Up at the top, Andrew Rados in the Honda NSX. Now, this is a car that has not seen any love whatsoever. In fact, I'm curious, do we have any love shown for it at all? 1 kilogram, added 1 kilogram of ballast? What planet are we living in?
The Kenneth Portis planet is probably the one we are on. Really talented in that Honda NSX, and I don't need to call back too much of that last year because it was really good almost all of the time in Rados on the top of the grid. Kind of showing you why maybe that ballast is required for that Honda NSX, huh?
Certainly seems to be. We also see the Ford Mustang GT3, the newest addition to ACC. I say that, and it's been a minute. It's been around for a while, but it's still new to me. Come on, I'll be honest, haven't been around the ACC scene. Wow, say that 3 times fast. But yes, just haven't been around the ACC scene for too much of it. Been getting more into the iRacing side of things, and it's been an interesting endeavor, I have to say. That sim is definitely proving fortuitous, and the maybe lack of attendance that we see on some of these grids for not just Tracklicious, but for everybody, for anyone hosting any ACC leagues, may have noticed a slight decline, and that's due to other sims, I think.
Yeah, anyway, on Tuesday we have LMU. I'm just kidding, but I'm not kidding. That is a thing that you can do. But yeah, no, those other sims are moving forward, and ACC is, as much as I love it, and as much as it is close and dear to my heart, there's some steps back that it takes compared to other sims, and I think the ire of prototypes really draws people away from this game into LMU or iRacing, and iRacing a lot more of a competitive, more hostile environment, I'd give it.
Yes, that is no doubt. You definitely got the in-game voice chat, which adds spicy elements into it, and LMU not quite there yet with the in-game voice chats, and hopefully never. But LMU obviously providing a different physics model, handling model as well, that a lot of drivers have sort of come more inclined to than ACC. They like the feel of the slip a little bit more. I'm speaking from secondhand experience, I'm not going to lie, but I now have a brand new wheel to test it with, so I am going to have to drive at some point here.
Yeah, I've been, I just got back from university, obviously, so I've got plenty of time on my hands until my internship starts, but for now, I'm here with you, Mike, and we have obviously those beautiful Moza wheels R5s. We're both R5 users now, which is truly beautiful.
It is. It really is a nice product. I can say that here as well. Exclamation mark Moses. We have an affiliate link there, and other multiple affiliations. But it says, yes, it is a great wheel. It's very high quality in grasp, and I love the heaviness of the 5.5 Newton meter direct drive wheelbase. And there is the affiliate link as well there, provided by Mr. Eric the Boss Gakas in chat.
And not much has changed there, Eric. Still head honcho around here. I feel like I'm back in my old stomping grounds, like when you go back to your high school. I've still yet to do that, and I don't think I ever am going to. There's not really many people I'd like to see there. But for Rados, with this pace so far, it looks like they're also not going to see too many people. The Team Up Garage Honda NSX 403 has been just rapid, and the pace has just been kind of unbeatable, it feels, at a certain point when you got Denarte, who is leading the rest of the pack. Other than them, it's just, what do you do at a certain point? If you're Denarte, got to put up a really quick lap here, but the rest of the field looking really close.
It is. We can't really count out Jonathan Clifford either, as he's leading the standings for this championship right now at 208 points by a significant margin, actually. 188 is Andrew Rados' total. Mike Vasquez down at 182 with 180 points to Kenneth Portis II. So P2 in the championship is completely in the air and pretty much anybody's guess right now. Beyond that, Jonathan Clifford, I don't want to say he's sealed up P1, but he's certainly given himself a pretty decent shot at it. His drop round is a P9 result. We also see from a DNS from Andrew Rados and a P17 drop round from the Nords from Mike Vasquez. So a bit of strife to be headed their way, at least for the P2, P3. And really, it's Jonathan Clifford's championship to lose.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the amount of races we have left, I'm not sure if it's mathematically possible as long as Clifford shows up and finishes somewhere in the field. But,
no, it is. 2 races left. Oh, yeah. He can still lose. He would need 3 very poor results.
Yeah. And, oh, yeah, because there's a lot of points. Sorry, I just opened it. For some reason, my brain was in F1 mode. I was like, 20 points. Well, that's over, but not over, of course. There's plenty of time for Clifford to lose it, and it's Clifford's championship to lose, like you just mentioned. And there's some contenders all around, but to be honest with you, I don't predict Clifford to lose it. I remember Clifford being a very talented driver, and, you know, in a Lamborghini, that's fairly impressive.
Seemingly struggling, though, a little bit with Oulton Park. 0.5 off the margin. Sounds like a lot. It's not. It's half a second. 2 blinks of an eye, in case you're curious. 0.2 being the blink of an eye, of course, for the human species. Let's go on board. Speaking of blink of an eye, let's watch the driver's eye perspective of Jonathan Clifford. I think he is on an outlap right now. It's hard to tell. The ACC TV timing tower always lying to you as always, but he's weaving around, getting heat into his tires here. So almost certainly, I would say he's on an outlap.
I would say so, as you hear the beautiful hum of that V10 Lamborghini going under the bridge there. That is definitely the tires being warmed, weaving back and forth, braking a bit early, holding the brake a bit long into the corners, but I mean, Oulton Park's a bit difficult, and you notice the elevation change, and that's going to be a very big impact for drivers here today. The braking is really, really different than if you were on a fully flat track. Think about Indianapolis Motor Speedway as a really good example of that. The road course there, almost entirely the same banking throughout the whole thing. No hills, no valleys, and this is quite the opposite. And we mentioned a little bit earlier how dangerous the track can be, but luckily, as you'll notice, the beautiful prairie to your right almost. There's a lot of room to go off in certain spots, and if you go look closer to your left, not a lot of room. And mistakes are sometimes punished and are sometimes forgiven, depending on where they take place.
Especially around the Shell Oil corner, you end up going onto the grass too early, and while the barrier may look far away, it does not take you long to arrive head first into an Aramco. And to be honest, watching this lap from Jonathan Clifford, I'm not the most impressed. He's looking decently quick throughout it. In fact, think he is still valid. Looking at the timing again, timing charts lying to you as always, but not quite hitting the apex through the Knickerbrook chicane onto Britain's. Nice and tidy there, late on the accelerator, but through for the most part. Haven't seen any bang up corners, all things considered. It's been a bit of, especially the first corner, had to have a bit of a miscorrection on the gears. Sector 3, looking nice through Druids. Now 1 corner complex left to go before you drop down the hill and to the line to set your lap. It looked valid from Jonathan Clifford. Let's see, though, a bit of a seesaw at the wheel, wrestling the octopus to the line. And I'd imagine if we do see an improvement, it's not going to be a pole position. And as he crosses to 134.0, that is nothing to write home about.
Yeah, the 99 car, though, is going to have another chance at a lap if they want it. They got to the line before the checkered came down, so still has a chance to try and move up in this section there. Vasquez is going to be unable to match over there. Vasquez in the pit lane already. Just decided that 7th is good enough. Is Professor Chronotis practicing our pit entries. Chrono needs no introduction to that. I'm not saying they're terrible. That is exactly what it sounded like I said. Chrono's just a veteran driver.
Yeah, very important tactic there, practicing your pit entries, hoping that since I've left, people haven't lost that sentiment. I know that's one of my trademark sayings. It still is. I still say it every race, unfortunately so. I wish I didn't have to be honest. But yeah, practice your pit entries, everybody. You can lose so much time, and you can really not gain much, but you cannot lose a lot of time, and so that's a better alternative than, yes, losing time. Either way, Alex Friedman on a lap. Currently 1 second down. Can he get down within that 1 second mark? As of right now, well, it's going to be close. He's 0.2 up on his lap, and with a couple corners left to go, Carson, I don't know if he has what it takes here to gain up to Kelly. 1 corner left. Back on the accelerator. Will it be enough?
Yeah, good line from the 14 car out of the final turn there. But I'm not sure it's going to be enough, in the words of a famous artist from Compton, California. They'll go up 1 and into 11th, I believe. No, I think they started there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no overtaking Anthony Kelly. Finishing right behind him, and, well, that's going to set the grid. 1 hour and 20 minutes here on the clock for tonight. Andrew Rados leading us away on pole position. Tiago Denarte alongside with Chandler Williams in 3rd. This is, again, down to, really? Wait, where the heck did Jonathan Clifford end up? There he is. P6. So not the greatest qualifying result. It's going to have to be down to race pace here for Jonathan. And starting in this mid-pack, it can get dangerous, especially through Cascades and down towards Shell Oil.
Yeah, if you don't go single file at certain points, it's going to be a lot harder to maintain where you are. And with netcode, it's not going to be a whole lot of fun if you try and figure that one out. while you're jousting down to that section there. And I have to imagine Clifford, an experienced driver, is going to be all right. Hopefully. Sometimes it's out of your hands, though, and I think a lot of these drivers know that. If you sim race, you do know that. I mean, flat out, it's a fun race, but especially around here, it's going to be a dangerous one towards that middle sector there, and we'll have to imagine just Rados and Denarte are the prime position to be if you are them, but towards the mid-pack, it's going to be a lot of argy-bargy as we go on tonight.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a sword of Damocles hanging over the top pack's head right now, and everyone behind is going to be out for blood and looking for the positions. You can see the man on your screen just on the right there. Somebody very out of position. Wilson Fernandez in the 888 down in 8th position. Some say it's fate, some say it's a curse. We're going to find out very, very quickly within 1.5 minutes before, of course, we have our full out lap. It's been a while. Again, I have not commentated ACC in a minute, to be honest. So getting a little refresher on the scene. You can see there's Gil Silverin's livery, that brilliant Ford Mustang. I was going to say prancing horse, not quite, but a horse that could prance. I don't know.
Yeah, the horse that could prance. That's it's a solid way to put it, Mike. And yeah, no, ACC is it's in a state right now. We talked about this a little earlier, of course, but you know what? Still near and dear to my heart. It'll probably get NASCAR 2003 status at some point.
How do you mean by that?
I mean, people are going to play this game for a very long time.
Okay, got you. I wasn't sure. I'm not familiar with NASCAR 03.
Yeah. LMU is obviously the game's kind of, it feels like this game's next step until AC2 comes out, but for now, it just kind of feels like we'll be looking at LMU for a very long time, and this game will probably see a resurgence at some point if something goes wrong in that community, but it is sim racing, and updates do tend to change things. Maybe this game will get a flow back, and sometimes the excitement dies, but for AC, or Assetto Corsa, the regular game, not compared to Assetto Corsa I'm not saying an Italian word tonight. We are
Competizione!
Competizione! Yeah, no, it's actually a lot easier to say with an accent. Anyway, yeah, this game will get its surge back at some point, but unfortunately we're in that downturn. But like the stock market, we'll be back up, hopefully, eventually.
Now, what about some Rennsport? Do we want to see some Rennsport out there? Okay, that's moving on from that. But
the crowd goes mild.
The crowd goes mild, indeed. One thing that isn't going to be too mild here in too long is the sound of these engines. This big old 5.4 liter V8 in the front of this Ford Mustang. It's loud, it's proud, it's brash, and it's very, very American. Probably about as American as a bald eagle eating cheese, Carson. And seeing, of course, the Ford Mustang GT4, I think that was just added recently as well. Not into ACC, but into the, I think, other spec. Was it? No, it's a Camaro GT4. That's what I'm thinking of. It sounds amazing as well. No, not Camaro GT4. What, yeah, no, it's the Ford Mustang GT4. Yeah, they just added that. Not into ACC, but again.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not. Yeah, but, one day. Probably not.
Probably not.
ACC 2. Anyway,
we need an Aston Martin Evo before we get that.
Yeah, that's a good point. The American cars in this game sound beautiful, as well as, honestly, almost all of them, but my personal favorites are the Americans and the British cars, for the exception of not the McLaren specifically, just not the McLaren. And you go directly to a BMW as I say this, because I know you're about to make a point. But I do like the BMW as well, Mike.
The BMW GT3 sounds very nice. The GT4 car, not so much. But the GT3 is a very nice inline 3.0, inline 6, the classic BMW tried and true and tested engine that they no longer use, of course, because who cares about history and keeping things simple? I don't know, either way. I like the 3.0. It's a cool engine. The Honda NSX here, very small, 2.4 turbo? What the heck is in this thing? I forget.
I would say an engine, hopefully, and beautiful, glorious. We have another sub.
One bigly.
Back on the pub. 27 months. That's three. That's almost. Wow. I almost said that's 3 days. That's 3 times 9.
That's almost a year. Is how I would say that. Thank you very much, One Bigly, for that continued support, Mr. Jacob Church. Still rocking around the community. We got Trango in chat as well. A big warm welcome to everybody that is joining us here. I've just now realized that Eric's going to be very upset because I have the Next Level Racing out of shape from the box that he sent me, so I will correct that before we get into it. It's close enough. He's going to still be upset, but either way, what do you do? There we go. You gotta love live TV, folks. Here we go. The green flag getting ready to be waved. Andrew Rados on pole position alongside Tiago Denarte. This is round 6 at Oulton Park for the Next Level Racing GT3 Pro Series. Green, 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 and the Honda off to a slow start. Down immediately, Tiago Denarte door banging into the first corner. But heck, before they even get there, as we go through, that's going to be a Ferrari round and facing the wrong direction. Alex Freeman, no, that's Alves, dropping the order and a punch to the face for Andrew Rados as well. My goodness, if there's ever a knife fight in a phone booth, Carson, this is absolutely one.
And Arte goes with the door bang and says goodbye as everybody else falls behind them. That's going to push that NSX all the way to the back. Oh my goodness, what a start. That is not awesome for a lot of these drivers who just went through what was essentially a blender into these first few turns, and you have to go and drop single file at a certain point. And I mean, I don't even know what happened to some of those Mustangs there. That blue and neon Mustang, that was not great work from them, and I'm not sure what happened to them. It was slightly off frame, flew across the screen and into another car. That Honda NSX, we said how they were going to be safe. I was wrong. Andrew Rados, not safe at all.
No, that was sort of that sword of Damocles I mentioned at the top of the broadcast. I didn't think it was going to get cut that early, but the hairline thread, it got severed before the word go, pretty much. The door banging down the start-finish straight really sent a message, and then after that, the message was firmly received as it was a violent, repeated sequence of punching to the face from various different opponents. The result, Chandler Williams down 9 positions, Andrew Rados down 12 positions, Mateus Alves down 11 positions. But on the upside, Jonathan Clifford up 4 positions, a championship leader, and now, well, currently, like the mythical Titan Atlas, he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders, and sliding around in the background is Quinn Smith.
Yeah, we'll put our Greek mythology counter up to 3 now. You must have been doing some reading recently. You have to have been, because Sword of Damocles, like I had to do that, study that for class, and man, we're just in sync right now, Mike. I feel like the chemistry is just back. Clifford there chasing 2.2 seconds away from Denarte, who's honestly the big winner from this. Started in second, is going to finish in first if this pace can keep up. Quinn Smith gets chased down by Vasquez, trying to make a move work here. That black and white, beautiful Ferrari behind.
Also, I'm now just realizing I'm so not used to being on production. I could have replayed that. Whatever. It's a little late now. Look, it's been a while since I've run a live stream, to be honest, folks. Again, this is I'm in unfamiliar territory right now. ACCN being the guy on the cams, and it's happened immediately. This is amazing. My goodness, one Bigley with a $10 dono. Thank you so much for your continued support, Jacob. That is absolutely legendary. Back to the racing, though. My goodness, there's a lot to digest, and there's a lot to digest in the future here. These guys, they still have an hour and 16 minutes left to go, and they are sliding around like a dog on a freshly finished hardwood floor.
Yeah, there's plenty of time to go for more argy-bargy as we go down. Mike Vasquez in that next level Ferrari, the 21 car chasing Quinn Smith, the 999 car ahead. And some chat breakdown of the accident. Some bias there for sure, but the 21 car still chasing Smith, and one of those big gainers. You have to imagine Vasquez very lucky to have not been caught in between the car ahead and the car behind, who kind of got into some banging accidents earlier. It's Fernandez is that purple BMW behind.
And that will really help his championship out. Vasquez kind of in a battle, locked arms with P2 right now. Andrew Rados is the man that he wants to fight, and with Rados plummeting down the order like a stone, that is going to help him out tremendously. Mike just has to keep his head firmly planted on his shoulders, which we've seen can be a bit of an issue for some. But if he can keep that, he'll be in for a good result, and that might just be enough to put him up into second, and firmly so. Now everybody cutting the chicane there. Britain's very, very tight, or Britain's, excuse me, I'm on the wrong track. The Hislop chicane, and so far, no victims being fell.
I would say that counter will go up at some point, and Arte still etching this lead out just a bit farther as back to the field. Rados really not making too much progress, still 2.2 seconds behind Williams ahead. And from there, it's basically a train to the front and then a brief 2-second stop and the train to the front again. And Kenneth Portis there in that other NSX, now the leading NSX after starting in 7th. And got really, I think, the best end of the NSX. We're talking about how unsafe the mid-pack was, and honestly, that may have been the safest place to be in the race start.
Yeah, very surprisingly so. It was Thiago Donarte there that's now walking away pretty much with this one. And while the chaos, the carnage, the calamity is in the rearview mirror, he has planted it there firmly, does not want to worry about any other issues throughout the rest of this race. He's just looking to extend it. Jonathan Clifford behind, getting held, well, not getting held up, but he's currently having his bumper chewed into by Quinn Smith and not helping his pace out too much, having to drive in the rearview mirror, clattering the curbs there. That's going to set him up weak now for the next chicane. He's going to cover the inside, though, for Hislops, but it's going to be down to the brakes of Quinn Smith, and he goes around the outside, trying to follow suit as the Cavallina Rampante of Vasquez doesn't get it done.
Some contact there between that Lamborghini, Ferrari, and BMW. 3 different countries and 3 different dents for each of those cars. Some paint scratches as they go down there. And I believe that move to the inside was a bit more about blocking Vasquez than it was trying to get rid of Smith. That 999 car had 777s there. Real lucky break with that curb bang in there from Clifford.
The problem now, well, not for Quinn. Quinn is easily going to be walking away. This is not really gone out of the woods yet. Jonathan Clifford still in the thick of it right now, and Mike Vasquez wants to get by, well, rather quick. And this track, not really one to warrant it. Are we going to see a dive bomb down into Shell Oil? Through Cascades would be absolute mayhem. That would be pretty much a repeat of the first lap if we were to have that happen. But now, on the run, down towards Shell Oil, I think we're going to see Vasquez pull the trigger.
Yeah, we'll have to see there. Clifford's been a bit squirrely so far, and Trengo with a good point about the driver in front. We'll see how friendly Rados is with Williams when if he gets back up to him. Some rivalries, I think, going back out in this race, and the closer you are, typically the more animosity you have for the driver in front, and some energy for Vasquez there as they head into that back end of the track here. Second sector and now.
We've seen overtakes happen into the Hislop chicane before. This time, Mike Vasquez not close enough to get alongside. He took advantage of the Quinn Smith overtake, and really the mistake out of Jonathan Clifford is what led up to the overtaking chance. Ooh, Vasquez a little deep there, but manages to keep all 3 wheels planted on the tarmac at the very least. Up through, they go into the back sector. You're not going to be finding too many chances of overtaking here.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the story of the night. Oulton Park is a lot like Monaco with a few extra steps and a little bit more fun because, you know, you slip your car, maybe go do a bit of a spin, you don't smash into a wall, and cause millions of dollars of damage. Got some grass in between there. Vasquez still going behind that lower end, trying to find a way past, but, I mean, you have to imagine it's just so hard as Fernandez is going to close in at some point here. They tap in the back, maybe. I think that was a netcode thing.
Oh, but I don't like what I'm seeing, though. I'm seeing Vasquez looking left, looking right. If we want to add to the Greek mythology counter, he's just like Alexander trying to cut through the Gordian knot right now, but not having any success.
Yeah, we want to go back to history. Trying to go Alexander the Great and conquer this 3rd place position. The 99 car just kind of in the way at this point, but there's nowhere that Vasquez can go. Trying to move to the inside, trying to force a mistake out of this car, but Clifford, an experienced driver, is going to be pretty smart about it. But now by Vasquez, losing some space here on that turn, is going to now deal with Fernandez behind instead of trying to get Clifford in front. This could give Clifford some breathing room to try and move away just a little bit more, because we know how aggressive Fernandez is. That 888 car has a reputation for aggressive overtakes and making them work.
He has, but
and
the one thing... Very true. The one thing that I have noticed, though, I want to give Wilson Fernandez some credit. He used to be a bit of a dive bomber in the past, and maybe some would call him a hot lapper, but since then he has changed tremendously, and he's become one of the best racers I've seen in a very long time. The Vacuum Racing team in general, with Gabriel Felipe, as well as, of course, why am I drawing a blank on the other... Gil Silveren's also on there, but there's one more that I'm forgetting. It's another extremely talented driver. Who am I forgetting, and why is it? Is it Ricardo? It's not Ricardo.
Rivera is the is not. I don't know.
Oh goodness!
I think they're both washed, Mike.
Well, we got a bit of a door-banging battle. Yeah, Chandler Williams getting by Anthony Kelly in a hurry and in a very inopportune location through the first corner. It's a 90-ish degree right-hander, but it's certainly not easy to make a pass through. And Chandler Williams, please break T1. Well, he did so.
Also broke a few doors there, and it's getting a bit of a situation where Williams is repeatedly doing the same thing over and over, hitting and banging against those door walls. We'll have to see what they can do. Williams needs to put it together in a bit cleaner of a way. You're going to make enemies out there on track, and that's the last thing you want in sim racing, because there's really no repercussions other than whatever comes on the screen at the end of that. So Williams needs to be less aggressive, needs to find a way to get past cars, because that they are faster than in a way that isn't going to cause damage to both of them.
Yeah, and he is very much trying to push Kenneth Portis II through the chicane. Going to be pushing him as well into Sector 3. There's not many overtaking chances here. And Druids, you're going to find yourself washed wide onto the grass if you're not careful. Chandler picking his attacking points here very cautiously, but he's still going at this like a bat out of hell.
Yeah, Williams has got a lot of potential. You can just see how quick they are and trying to find an overtake anywhere they can, but they're getting delayed here, and Kelly behind, not as fast as Portis or Williams, but this battle ahead is really causing them to get closer and giving that McLaren an angle in. The 84 car trailed by the 7 machine. That Mustang has been quick, and that V8 is humming along as the giant American school bus is just millimeters, it feels, away from the back bumper of this car repeatedly.
This is a very intimidating sight if you're Kenneth Portis II. When you're in the essentially Prius-sized car versus the Ford F-150, it is quite, there's a lot going on in your rearview mirror, and most of it is not the track. It's all Ford Mustang all the time right now, and that's all that Kenneth Portis can see, and it's hard not to pay attention to that and look, because you see the body language of Williams. He's looking left, he's looking right, and every which way, and that's causing Kenneth Portis to be unsure. Where is he actually going to make the move? Is it going to be down into the chicane? Not on this occasion, as Kenneth covers the inside. The switchback attempt plants it dead center. This is textbook defense right now, but really, what's the point at the end of the day? This is wasting a lot of time for more than just one driver.
Yeah, I mean, it's more on, I feel like, worse for Williams than it is for Portis. Portis is just running their race right now, and at Donington, defense comes real easy, or rather, it becomes real easy because you don't have to move a lot, and you're not really dealing with too much there. On that outside line is going to be Williams, as Portis just takes their line slowly and a bit interrupted by the middle backside. Williams has to back off a little bit more, get a bit washed wide, I think a little more than they wanted, but you're going to try and make that overtake here, and Williams has just gotten 2 poor exits into this front straight.
And I thought we were going to see it done into the first corner this time, but maybe into Shell Oil. It really is going to be I think you're just going to have to throw something at the wall here if you're Chandler Williams and just hope it sticks. If it doesn't, you can go for it again. You definitely have the pace. Now, you got to be careful because you can see Alex Freeman has Andrew Rados and Matheus Alves not too far behind. That isn't a concern for these guys. We know that Alves and Rados are quicker. That's just kind of not our fight right now, as they're going to work their way through the pack, and that just is what it is. It's down to these guys here in this Honda. Being the Great Wall of Portis, I think it's safe to say right now that if he does end up defending, even by the top of the hour mark, he's the 8th wonder of the world.
Yeah, Portis has been known for this. Some contact there from that Mustang. Good of them to back off, as Portis is one of those guys who may not have the best pace, but will always put up a fight, and this is a bit of an understatement here. Cannot find a way past his Williams, and Portis just putting up the defense, mounting what is crazy defense so far. And the NLR TSR Championship Honda NSX is now starting to get a bit of a trail behind it, as Anthony Kelly now trying to find a way past Williams, saying, give me a try.
And Williams with a bit of a tail wagging the dog situation there. Is that going to be potentially him pushing too hard? You have to be careful. The barrier is never far away. We talked about it earlier, and especially in Sector 3, you cannot throw it away. When you're quicker than the car in front as well, you just have to have a calm, cool, collected head on your shoulders, and when the opportunity arises, when Kenneth Portis makes a mistake just like that. Now, was that a forced a mistake, though? That's the question.
Hit that replay button. I'm pretty sure Chandler Williams went a bit NASCAR there. Forgot that spoiler is a bit higher than it is on the track. We'll take a little bit of a breakdown here. Portis, after that turn 1 section here, get a front bumper view and get a good view of the rear diffuser there. Portis smart to get out of the way. Had to not spin, and that's an overtake and 5 seconds for Williams.
Yeah, that is a little more than a kiss to say that. It's not a kiss from a rose. That is a punch to the face. And to give some credit where credit's due, Kenneth Portis actually, he fell down the order down to 11th as a result, but held fast and firm. And as you said, he didn't spin. So receiving repeated punches to the face and then staying up, hey, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish, right? And Kenneth Portis has got a long ways to go.
Yeah, and I mean, Portis has the pace to get back up there, because we're going to see those drivers in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th right now are going to be dealing with some problems behind, but Rados still can't get past. As Alvis, we're going to see, I think, a lot of these similarities behind Rados and Portis fighting. I was not expecting that to be any sort of an incident between these two, but Alvis is still behind the Silver Bullet 15 machine. I cannot believe Rados still giving... Wow, Portis on that outside line. Portis is trying to make an overtake, was alongside for such a long period of time, and going for the switchback here. We're going to have to go nip and tuck again.
Oh, and Matthias Alves there almost overcooks it and loops the Ferrari round right there, going for an overtaking chance onto Alex Freeman, but really overcooking it himself. Great little livery there as well, the Silver Bullet. Love to see it in the Trackalicious logo on the side as well. He has some work to do. This is really going to show. This is Monaco without the walls. Overtaking is a luxury. It is not the norm.
Yeah, and Freeman is going to have some of the defense done for them with the asphalt below being quite thin and quite hard to get past them, but the AF Sport Car needs to be a bit more, I guess, quick is the best way I can describe it there. The lines are fine. The track is fine. Have not gotten any good exits on these tracks, but as you're noticing behind, Alves is just unable to stay really on the correct line in the turns.
He's pushing a little bit too hard, and still with an hour left to go, you just have to dial it in. This is a long race. It's an endurance race, a mini endurance race, I should say, in the stretch. You can take notes from Quinn Smith, from Thiago Donate, from Jonathan Clifford. They just have gained that 4-second gap, and they're trying to hold it. Now, I'm glad that we do have some excitement. Of course, if everybody was to do that, this race would be very boring, and there wouldn't be much racing going on. This is providing the action, and Alves, a tank slapper, but he manages to keep it.
Goodness me, Alves, that's probably saving the night. We have not seen a lot of saves. Most of them have just ended up getting dumped into the grass, but Alves keeps themselves alive and still within 3/10 of the car ahead. What a job to do there for Alves. Who's, witnessing the not save of the night ahead is Wilson Fernandez. What has occurred here? I think he hit the tire barrier.
I'm assuming he goes deep through this left-hander here, so he's going to run out a little bit wide. He clipped the grass on the inside, and this is sort of what I was talking about, where it can go, the barrier is so far away, but it's really not. You make that mistake, and you're heading to it, and there's nothing you can do. You can hold your brakes, you can do whatever. I think that Mario Costa has gotten collected here. Let's take a replay. So this is Mario Costa taking evasive maneuvers and heading straight into the tire wall at approximately Mach 10.
Yeah, I mean, what happened there for Fernandez is Realized that they were going to hit the wall anyway, floored it, trying to move the car to the left, and just ran out of room there, smashed into that tire barrier. And both of those cars, the two Brazilians, will be headed to the pits with a lot of damage to repair there. I cannot imagine either of their steering is straight as it's supposed to be anymore. And goodness me, that is... Not sure what Costa was doing there. That's a lot of speed.
Yeah. Really, I mean, Wilson Fernandez wasn't too in line. He was out of the way at that stage. Now, I think what it was is Mario Costa wasn't sure if he was rejoining the track at speed. It was if the car was just going to bounce right back into the line, but I'd rather take that risk than the one that he did. Either way, hindsight is 2020. You can say, oh, ifs, ands, or buts, but whatever happened, happened, and the results are the same. Mario Costa into pit lane for his one mandatory stop, and so is Wilson Fernandez.
Yep, came a bit earlier than I think they were hoping, and may have to stop again. I'm not sure if you have an hour of fuel left in, or anyone has an hour of fuel left in them. So we'll have to see if that is the case. I don't know. It's Oulton Park. I'm a silly guy without much knowledge of the fuel tank around here. An hour left as we go right down to a mere 4 digits on the clock. So sad. So much racing that we've already had 20 minutes in, and I'm worried that we're running out of energy, Mike. I cannot believe that some of these drivers have already just gotten so aggressive this early in the race.
Yeah, it's definitely, they're not treating it like it is the first race of a season. Well, it's not, but they're more treating it like this is the last race of their lives. Give it everything you can, and if you crash the car, well, it is what it is. Matheus Alves into the final corner, late on the brakes, really forces Alex Freeman to say, okay, I guess I'm letting you by. I don't really want to, but you're not giving me much of a choice. And so the rest is going to be history, or both of these cars are going to be history in a scrap heap.
Back in that front line there, going side by side causes... Goodness, Freeman to just lose out to almost everybody. Rados gets past, and Freeman has to dip into the grass to get away from that Honda NSX machine. Alves goes forward, Rados goes forward. Now it's going to be Alves in the same position that Freeman just was as Rados, the former pole sitter. Going to be just absolutely all over that back end. We've seen just how aggressive these cars have to be to make the overtake. And in certain cases, it means sacrificing your fellow driver, like Alex Freeman did just right there. Got sent to the wolves, unfortunately.
I think this is a smart choice from Alex Freeman, believe it or not. I think this is the right way to go. These two are just quicker than you, and it is what it is. Know who you're racing. And for Andrew Rados, I don't expect him to overtake Alves anytime soon. I don't think they can afford to really scrap right now. Their goal is to get to the front of the field and then worry about each other. Don't care, because both of them are extremely quick. In fact, Andrew Rados, he is very, very fast, but both of them well within the 133, the mid 133s, which is quicker than most drivers on circuit. The only exceptions being Quinn Smith and Thiago Dinarte. So all the way up to third position is the plan right now, but Carson, we all know that no plan survives first contact, especially with the enemy.
Yeah, I mean, your clipboard just exploded everywhere, and speaking of clipboards that have exploded, Williams started on that front row, making their way back 6 seconds behind Vasquez in that 5th position. Doing a really good job trying to catch up as they got involved with Rados, the Canadian 403 car that we're on board with right now, or the cameras are watching right now. But yeah, it's been really good for some of these drivers and really bad for others, but Williams making it work. Fastest lap is doing a good job, and they got into Rados earlier. We'll jump on board with that 403 Honda NSX right now.
Let's see what it looks like. The driver eye's perspective from Andrew Rados, and I'm just curious how hard he's pushing. He's pushing very hard. He's going for the barrier. Oh goodness, we're a passenger on board. Turn left, turn left. Oh, not too far left. Okay, make sure you stop before rejoining and check your mirrors. All right, crisis averted. Andrew Rados, completely unforced error right there. That is a bit of a child's play mistake, but regardless, a great job to not pull a Wilson Fernandez and end up with your bonnet halfway up to the moon.
Yeah, I'm still kind of in a head scratcher about that Fernandez move, because they have since left the race. That was the DNF right there. And Fernandez, I don't understand why you would hit the gas there, but I mean,
he didn't. Let me justify. Well, talking about Fernandez.
Let off the brake. Sorry, let off the brake.
either way, he was heading towards the barrier. There was no denying it. He had too much speed through the left-hander. It just is what it was. I've been there so many times, and I know so many people in chat have as well on this track. It's just one thing that you can't, it happens, and unfortunately experienced it. Mario Costa was the one that I was scratching my head about mostly, where, yeah, that one I think was avoidable, but wasn't. Either way, it happened, and what happened, happened, and surprisingly, Mike Vasquez into the lane.
A very early pit stop here. We call it the super undercut. Maybe picked up some knowledge along the way of this track and goes, you know what, I don't want to pit again. I'm gonna pit right here. I can outlast with 55 minutes to go. I'm going to just put the wheels on the bus and see what I can conjure up there. Professor Granotis with a stop go 30 and 13th place right there. Not sure where they're at on the track. They are on the track. I'm not sure where. There's no timing on my timing chart, but Professor Granotis in that beautiful blue shell. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! Car, the Canadian, trying to chase down first place with that blue shell.
He's got, he's going to have to pick up some pace if he wants to end up flying through this circuit and coming crashing down on the skull of Thiago Denarte. Well, he's actually not too far away, now that you mention it. He is within cracking distance. It's just, unfortunately, one lap down.
Yeah, and Chrono still has to go and hit the pits at some point here because they still have a stop go 30. He is unfortunately going to have to. I mean, again, still in cracking distance. You just have to look maybe in the rearview mirror instead of the front mirror there. Kenneth Portis is now in the rearview mirror of a different car this time, not defending. They're chasing Freeman.
I'd almost like to see Portis go for a pit stop as well. I almost like the strategy from Mike Vasquez. Now, he took tires, so going for the full stop, tires and fuel, and you don't really need tires, all things considered, on this racetrack, especially down towards the end. It doesn't matter how much wear you have because nobody can overtake you. Everybody has worn tires, and so overtaking becomes nigh impossible by the final lap. Unless you go for something, well, ridiculous or bold or who knows, anything in between, potentially some interesting strategies to play a fit. You can, of course, go for the change of tires later, but is it worth it? Are you going to risk it? I think most of these drivers are not, but this is why I'm in the commentary booth, Carson, not out on track.
Yeah, and we also have to account that maybe some extracurricular tire wear happened on that first lap, and maybe just not comfortable with where your tires are at. Wanted them to be a bit better towards the end of the race. You can feel them slipping maybe already early in, and you're like, oh, I'm not going to deal with that. I'm not going to deal with 20 minutes left, and I'm on a slip and slide at Six Flags. It's just not what some drivers want to deal with, and I completely respect Mike Vasquez. I would have taken tires there if I had been involved in any accident, just because I'd rather take the damage repairs as well.
Yeah, it seemed to be minor. 33 seconds stationary, so not too much damage being repaired, if any. But do set of boots and full fuel to the end of this race. They're just going to have to worry about plugging on lap after lap after lap. And, well, that can be a blessing. It can also be a curse. You mentioned that graining. It can happen here. So this is a very uneven, when it comes to the corner numbers, circuit. There are 6 corners to the left and 11 to the right, meaning your left-hand tires are going to take most of the beating. In fact, they're going to take dang near half the well, that's a weird one to quantify. They're going to take more abuse. I
think Professor Chronotis picked up another stop go 30.
I thought so when he went into lane. Oh, no, he's not out of lane yet. Never mind. But he might have. He went into pit lane pretty hot.
Maybe I might just be the stop and no-go forever. if it's still that first one. I don't think I ever saw Chrono leave the pits, which is where I'm at right now. But I know Chrono's not one to give up this early. Loves driving and typically doesn't care where they're at, but I completely understand if I got a second stop and go 30, my hand would be through my monitor or the Alt F4 button would have been pressed. One of the two things would have occurred, so credit for doing neither of those things to Chrono.
What are we looking at here? Kenneth Portis, an overtake attempt from approximately 3 football fields in the background. Well, maybe it's going to work. A little mistake there from Freeman, no. I think Kenneth Portis is getting a little impatient, Carson.
And rightfully so. I mean, this park. I mean, I was so close. This track, Oulton Park, is so hard to overtake on. We're going to harp on it all night. You will hear us repeatedly talk about it. And Portis is experiencing what I think he did to Williams earlier, who's all the way moved back up into 5th place or 4th place with the pit of Mike Vasquez. And I'm curious to see Williams trying to make it all the way back, about 10 seconds behind the leaders. Denarte, we haven't talked much about them since the beginning, but carving out a lead is an understatement.
Yeah.
The jack-o'-lantern's been, honestly, it's a beautiful jack-o'-lantern. That thing is carved.
No, he is absolutely running through this field right now and just kind of setting the precedent. He is the one to beat right now. And Thiago Denarte, where's he at in the standings as well? He's down in 5th and has a fighting chance for 2nd still at 162 points. He's only about 20 points behind 3rd right now, Mike Vasquez, and 26-ish points away from P2. So, yeah, well within the money. And again, with Jonathan Clifford currently taking the biggest haul of points when it comes to the championship, I think, barring anything crazy in this event, he is going to still be leading this race. Andrew Rados, though, dropping down the order, down to 9th right now. Still plenty of race to go, but he needs to gain some more points because he's hemorrhaging them right now.
Yeah, unless you're going esports driver pace, I think it might kind of be over for Rados if they're looking for that win position there. Denarte been perfect so far. Anticipating they're going to be perfect the rest of the way, but obviously anything can happen. Denarte can miss one braking zone at Oulton Park. You go right into the grass, and you are at the will of nature, to say the least. And it could happen to really anybody, and it might happen to Denarte. We'll have to see. One little mistake is all it takes around here. This is a dangerous spot as... speak of the devil, we'll jump on board a replay with Chrono, the 42 car. Random camera angle back on that other side. Chrono is going to lose it right where so many drivers have lost it before and does the smart thing and turns that car right instead of trying to go for that gap in the barriers.
Yeah, rather than trying to thread the needle through the middle, it looks tempting and it looks very enticing, but then when you rejoin the circuit at, again, approximately too fast, you're going to take someone else out. And then you're going to be very unhappy because you have a penalty in the next race on top of the penalty that you get in this. All the way around, would not recommend. Kenneth Portis here. Well, he's just trying to plug along, trying to get a by Alex Freeman. And look at that, Andrew Rados. Well, he's joining the conversation soon.
Rados in that team up garage 403. Getting involved there again. Has already passed Portis earlier and then... unfortunately succumbed to the demon known as a mistake, which is really the worst one. There's nothing quite as bad as just screwing up because you got no one to blame except yourself, and Rados, credit to them, is still moving forward. He's going to keep going forward. That 403 car was on pole for a reason, and you're going to have to imagine those 5/10 between that pole position and that 2nd place. It matters. It really does matter, and you're going to see that pace pick up, hopefully for Rados somewhere along the line.
It is. He's definitely doing the best Icarus impersonation I think that we've seen. He's flown very close to the sun on multiple occasions, and, well, he's been burnt. Dropping down the order. Needs to not do it anymore at this stage. 1.3 seconds back behind. It's just about consistency right now for Rados and getting these positions as soon as he can. If he can catch back up to Alves, they can work together to find themselves back on the podium.
Yeah, and you know, as we have a little brief break in the action, these cars ahead here, I want to say a quick thing. May is Mental Health Month. If you are not aware already, it is a fairly not popular thing, but it's getting popular as you go through. More announcements of it. I just want to use this time I have in front of a bunch of people, which is 26 of you right now, and that's a lot of people. I don't think I could do that public speaking and really have that feeling, a nervous feeling in my gut, but I have gone through a lot of mental health issues, and I have to say it means everything to people if you just check in. Saying hi to someone you haven't spoken to or asking if somebody's okay and what they need. You notice that they're off. It really is important. And, you know, maybe it's going to take May to do that, to realize that you maybe need to do that with a few people in your life, but you can say hi. You should say hi. Stay connected to people. Nobody wants to feel left out, and, you know, maybe connect with someone you haven't in a really long time. It's a really important cause. There's plenty of foundations to support. I don't have any directly to link, but if you would like to do your own research, I highly recommend it. But just say hi to someone, just check in, and ask if everybody's okay if you notice something's wrong.
Don't be a stranger. is, I think, the general consensus there. And yeah, reach out to somebody that you haven't to in a while. And holy smokes, indeed, we have a new subscriber. It is Dale Rodman Jr. the third on the podium, joining the team for 2 months in a row with a 2-month sub. That is almost a year. Welcome to the team. Thank you so much. Andrew Rados into pit lane with the undercut. This, I think, is some brilliance.
Yeah, I think Rados needed to pit maybe 3 minutes earlier. If you were going to talk a little bit on that section, I would have liked to see them pit earlier. You should undercut as hard as you can, but maybe this is the sweet spot. Maybe I'm not a knower guy. Maybe I'm not a knower. Actually, I'm definitely not a knower. I don't think I've ever claimed to be. I'm one of the most aloof people you'll ever meet, but Rados, you have to imagine that's a really good opportunity for them with that undercut. Gonna try and put it together, see what he can do later on in this race, but for now, it's gonna be clear roads ahead for at least 11 seconds till they get back to where they once were, as Portis makes that overtake. Brothers trying to make that overtake still ahead against Freeman. That time, though, dropping a little bit, almost gonna fall out of that slipstream.
Almost so, and you need to be careful. I mean, slipstream here on this track is not the most important thing on the planet, as, well, you're going in a straight line for approximately 10 seconds for the most part, at most. That's even an overstatement, I think, here. This is one of the tracks you don't catch much of a break, so heck, it's getting him out of the dirty air, I might even argue, for that one, keeping him a little bit more fuel saving, a little bit more tire saving, and just keeping the temperatures under wraps, and giving yourself a chance to breathe. You know, it's something you don't have to have. It's easier to follow than it is to lead, that's always the case, but sometimes you just want to be out there hot lapping.
Yeah, I'd like to see Portis here maybe jump into the pits a little bit earlier, because I mean, still close behind, you still got that dirty air, your tires are still melting away. Some clean air would do maybe support us some good, as they go 1.2 seconds behind now, the 226, or rather the 8.4 car still looking ahead. Freeman just has been solid, and that's all they've needed to be. Let those two cars, Alves and Kelly, pass earlier, and Freeman has just been on the way, calm, collected, hasn't made a mistake since getting forced off earlier by another car, and, you know, really admirable. Kenneth Portis still chasing, but Freeman looks solid, and we hope they don't make another mistake. Oh, I did it. That was bad. That was a bad curse for me.
It happens. It happens. It wouldn't be one back to the booth. Welcome back to the booth, Carson. No, it's
I'll do it myself. Exclamation mark curse.
You love to see it.
2 today already.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I guess you love to see it. What can I say? The mistakes, they add up, of course, and every second adds up into more seconds. Yeah, you guessed it. I messed up the analogy either way. This is going to only benefit Andrew Rados, as he will be gaining massively, but he also, this is a brilliant little strategy. Andrew Rados didn't take tires. He just came in for some fuel, filled up enough for the end of the race, and sent it on out. I think this is going to work wonders. This is, again, a track that it's going to reward you long-term if you can keep your tires in healthy conditions, but if you don't waste your time taking them and you can gain in the long term, this is going to put him, I think, up onto maybe even ahead of Alves.
Yeah, I mean, still a lot of place to go. I mean, Rados had that lap earlier in the race, that earlier in qualifying, that put him on pole position by half a second, and now they're basically hot lapping the rest of the way until more cars pit. So that 403 car, not much ahead for them, just waiting for other cars to pit, and it could result in a real good strategy here. A lap down, I believe, or somewhere close to a lap down, no, half a lap down, and maybe could find their way back to that top 5 position.
I think they very well will. There's only 23 seconds right now, no, not 24, separating between him and Kenneth Portis, then about 10 seconds to Matthias. So right around that 35-second mark here at Oulton, you are looking at about, if you do take tires, about 49 seconds. So this is going to force the hand, believe it or not, of Matthias Alves. Does he take tires when he comes into lane? If he does, he'll be giving up the position. But if he doesn't, he'll keep it. So what do you value here? The track position, or do you value your tires long term? This is a call, quite frankly, that I wouldn't want to be making.
If I was making that call, Mike, I think I'm going to take probably the fuel time. Alves is only 2 seconds behind. Kelly ahead. That 2 car is not giving too much dirty air and not too much behind. Alves is just driving calmly. I think all you got to do is take fuel assuming that those tires are okay. We know that they fought earlier with a few other drivers. We'd have to see what they end up doing, but I feel like a splash and dash is what you're going to want to do, right?
I would think so. Alves, if I'm in Alves' situation, I think I'm going for it. I don't want to risk the track position. I think track position is king. Overtaking, we've seen how difficult it can be, especially for even Alves, for even Rados. They are struggling to get by at the best of times. That's why we saw Rados go for that alternate strategy. That's why we saw Vasquez in early as well. Somebody that you would think has the ability to claw their way through the field, but instead, in fact, speaking of, where was Vasquez when he went into pit lane? He was in 4th, 5th when he came in?
Yes, 4th.
Well, Andrew Rados is ahead of him by 5.5 seconds.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. That means that we've got Clifford now, right? Clifford looking ahead. I don't know what
pretty much
Vasquez.
So I think, well, what happened to Vasquez is he took tires. And so this is that strategy that we're talking about. What do you do if you're Clifford? What do you do if you're Williams? Really, Rados has put these drivers in an awkward situation. And I think what's going to happen, whatever the first person that pit does is what everybody is going to do. So if Williams comes in and takes tires, I think Clifford takes tires. Quinn Smith, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know. This is a tough call right now because, again, do you value the track position or do you value your traction?
Am I wrong, or is Quinn Smith closing in on Denarte?
Oh, goodness, I know that there are 2 cars closing in. A blue shell nearly taking out not the leader, but nearly taking out Alex Freeman through the Shell Oil corner. That's, well, into the Shell Oil corner. I think some irony to be found there. Freeman gets by the skin of his teeth, and Kenneth Portis left to his own devices to overtake here. And, you know, looking at that gap, I think you're right. The lap times are about dead even. They were, in fact, they couldn't really be more even between Quinn Smith and Denarte right now.
Well, Denarte had a 10-second lead at some point, so I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe a mistake came along. But Kenneth Portis gunning for an opportunity here. Going to try and make that inside line work. Has to go nip and tuck. It's not going to. Not at Oulton. Not enough room to do a dive bomb there. And very lucky as Chrono, who I looked off the screen up to the timing charts one time, and then a teal-colored car appeared on the screen and nearly caused what would have been a fairly expensive accident, Mike. Fairly expensive.
A banana peel on the road in that situation, but not quite this time. Alves, he is on for the pit lane on this lap, so he is going to be making that call and responding to Chandler Williams. Now, what do you do? This is the question. Do you take tires? Do you take fuel? Missing your pit box doesn't help at all, but Williams, he suffers a couple tenths for that one. Let's find out. Does the car drop? No, they're taking tires.
No goodness, that's that might cost Chandler Williams, or maybe end up right near Rados again. We'll have to imagine maybe coming out just in a moment here, but Rados going to be following Chrono up here, who's just gone off.
Yeah, Rados is gone.
Wow. Goodness me.
So, yeah, this is...
Is Williams repairing?
No, they're just taking tires. It's just a long pit stop here. They might be repairing a little bit of damage, but I don't sense they have too much. There goes Williams out. There goes Alves out. 36 or 33 second stationary, 32 second stationary, all the way around. Standard stops for the 2 of them. But Andrew Rados, look at that. He's got Mike Vasquez in between him as well. This is playing out wonderful. Now, you can't get rid of the elephant in the room. The lap times. Already, Andrew Rados, 134.1 on the previous lap compared to the 133.9 of Vasquez. Now, that's not that much different, but it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about a driver like Williams, qualified on the 2nd row, has been quick all night. That 8-second gap may look a lot shorter and may come very, very down very, very quickly as the race goes on here, depending on just how everything goes and shapes out. Rados touching the dirt again, really need to do a better job there. Needs to be cleaner if they want those tires to last. But Thiago Denarte going to be in the pit lane here, and Quinn Smith taking the lead. Quinn Smith, a notorious driver who just loves to stay out. Just does not pit until the latest moment, it feels like.
And that will work for him in this race, I think. That's a good strategy to consider. Okay, good job from Chrono. I almost thought Andrew Rados was going to go steaming into the side of Chrono on that occasion. Denarte out ahead of Alex Freeman. Alex Freeman in the pit lane, so that helps out a little bit. But ahead of Andrew Rados by a decent margin. But Denarte should retain the lead. Now, the gap being 7.5 seconds, this puts Clifford at risk. So Clifford, if he takes tires, he's going to be behind Rados.
We'll have to see, but I mean, behind Rados is one thing. Rados could be really dangerous, though. If Rados goes down, I don't know how much the lap difference is, because you then have to take into account that you have faster drivers who are dealing with cars ahead. I mean, Williams, goodness me, Williams is 8 seconds behind Vasquez, 12 seconds behind Rados, but Rados being 7 seconds behind, it's a really interesting situation, just simply because Rados is going to drop his pace is going to drop like a rock in those final 10 minutes, it's going to feel like, and how much can you get back if you're Williams and Alves and Vasquez behind? You've got some carving to do, and with Rados taking these turns not so carefully, picking up dust and all of them, this could get real bad at the end for this wasp-colored NSX.
It could, but I have to give credit where credit's due. Andrew Rados has sown a seed of discord amongst everybody right now. This is causing head scratches through the entire pack, pretty much. And what do you do? Because we are seeing the general consensus strategy being to take tires. But Andrew Rados, you can't help but notice he's looking pretty good without taking tires. Now, his last lap time didn't do too well. This one, much better, 134.0. You have to keep that around the 134s if you're Rados. There is no exception. If you start to drop down that, Jonathan Clifford is going to be safe, and Anthony Kelly could potentially be pushing him if he does take tires. This is so interesting. Again, Andrew Rados, keep in mind, this man started on pole position, dropped down the order, climbed the order, dropped down the order, then decided to take an alternate pit strategy, and this might put him back on the podium or into a barrier. Unlucky.
Brief little tap there. The seeds of doubt have been
unsung. Yeah, they're pretty you reap what you sow, I guess, in this case. Andrew Rados doing some donuts on the infield. What's for breakfast, folks? It's donuts. And no. What was that, Rados? Oh, goodness. Chrono having to have the situational awareness of a lion, and he manages to only take a small little bite out of the morsel of Rados. And, Rados is just going to pack it up and call it a day.
Yeah, that's a tough one. You feel like maybe you could go for a win here if Denarte makes a mistake, and it slips away from you, to say the least. Really tough. I mean, that's heartbreaking for Rados, who's going to be into the pits. Alves, Williams, and Freeman will all pass. Freeman down 30 seconds from the rest of the pack, but, I mean, going to get another position, move up a little bit in the standings. Going to get an extra point, a few extra points here and there, but Williams, fastest driver with the fastest lap, and that 7 car will have a bit of a farther drive to Vasquez, but now only really one car they can overtake.
Yeah, I think more disappointing for us than even for Rados. I was looking forward to that one, at least. I really thought, because now there is no alternate strategy. That's the thing, right? Is Rados, while it was working, now at this stage, I mean, you can still go for it if you're Kenneth Portis or whatever, but it doesn't matter as much. There's nothing to lose. You're just going to take the normal strategy that everybody else is taking, and, well, yeah, you're taking a little bit late, whatever, who cares? I think most of the drivers might not take tires. I still think that's the way to go, but unlucky, to say the least, for Rados, and unlucky as well for his championship efforts, because that's going to pretty much seal up Mike Vasquez to take home, maybe not second, but it's definitely going to take away second place from Rados. I think that much is confirmed.
Yeah, Vasquez chasing was in 4th earlier. We'll see if the tires matter. Quicker pace might help down the road if Anthony Kelly or Jonathan decides maybe no tires, but again, don't really get to see how that plays out with Rados, which really sucks. Apparently Rados is not a traditional NSX driver, is a Mustang, a Mustang driver, and is a weapon in that Mustang. And, love to see drivers diversifying what car they drive. I never drove the same car for more than half a season, so.
I was a McLaren driver. That was it. But granted, when I drove the McLaren, it wasn't good. I drove the old McLaren, not the new one. So let's... I don't mess with any of that TC2 stuff. It's too confusing for my small brain. So, the old-fashioned McLaren, whilst it was sucked, I loved it. The original McLaren 720S, not the Evo.
Yeah, the Evo's really nice, and was meta at a certain point. And, ooh, who do we blame for 2 Rados offs? Because we both cursed Rados.
One's on me.
Me or you?
The one's on me. I mean,
both
there's
are
no...
on you. I think both are on you. You were talking during both.
Yeah. But was I talking about him?
You were talking about the strategy, so, like, it's still 1-0.
Yeah. Yeah, you can blame that one on me. I'll take the responsibility. That's fine.
Yes.
I'm used to it. Hashtag blame
Yes.
Mike. Nothing new there.
Blame Mike. Throw that in chat, everybody. 30 minutes to go. Hashtag blame Mike in the chat. But the NSX, you love to see the NSX doing well, and that sucks. That really does suck for us and everybody involved in chat. Thank you very much for tuning in to Trackalicious, the Next Level Racing GT3 Pro series on Sundays at Oulton Park. This is round 6, 2 more to go, and so much fun. We already got that curse, I think. I think we just got 2 curses, so I guess
I'm sure we missed one in there tonight. It's not definitely not the worst thing to have an extra curse thrown in.
I'm trying to go for 0 Mike tonight. I mean, I've already gone 2 tonight, so whoops. But yeah, I mean, Dinarte there kind of feels like they have this race down pat until Quinn Smith enters the frame, and I'm not sure where Quinn Smith is going to spit out here.
Should be second still. Looking at the times, he's lapping pretty much not dead even, I should say, with Dinarte. Dinarte has picked up the pace since he put on a new set of boots. He's lapping an entire second a lap quicker than Quinn Smith, and 8.5 seconds behind Kenneth Porter second. Thiago might actually be quick enough to take the lead of this race without anybody ahead pitting in the time that is allotted. That's pretty impressive. Now, the pace would have to stay true, as Quinn Smith is finding the occasional 33s, but for the most part, he's planted himself into the 34s. In fact, that was his fastest lap, the Quinn Smith. Start talking bad about Quinn, he drives quicker, fair enough.
Yep, nothing could go right for us in the booth tonight, but, I don't know, fun fact, there's the first and second place right now, it's 5 9s. The quintuple 9, not often you see that, do you?
That's true. It will change.
I'm grasping at straws. I'm thinking about things. I'm thinking about things that nobody else is thinking about, folks. You tune into these streams for insight at a level that you didn't even know you needed.
Very, very true. I think now is the time to talk about the facts and the history of this track, because there are approximately 0 battles happening, and there will be hopefully soon. TM, we'll find out. The most exciting endeavor has ended up, well, crashing into a barrier very lightly, but still crashing into a barrier nonetheless. The inaugural race, though, the Oulton Park, first officially opened back on August 1st, 1953, and held by the BARC, or the British Automobile Racing Club, which I think is still around to this day. It was a big race. I actually have no facts about it. Wow. How lazy was I when I made this sheet?
Bang. It's Oulton Park. I feel like Oulton Park needs to be the biggest sheet that's maybe like 55 pages long, and you're right. I actually, a really good point from Dr. Porkchop. More Greek mythology. I actually have a Greek mythology book right here.
Hit us with some, Carson. I don't have any, direct situations. I mean, again, we've brought up quite a few already. I could talk more about, I don't know, Eris or something. I think I already talked about Eris, though, didn't I? I don't know. We're running out of Greek mythology.
If you've still got my camera working on this screen, I have the book right here.
Hold on. Maybe?
Maybe? It's gonna be awesome, guys.
No, that doesn't do anything. Nope, that's not that.
You just have to change the link.
No, it's not a link, though.
Isn't it the source?
No,
right?
That's a browser. No, it's the wrong type of source is the problem.
Just talking about Prod on stream, we are awesome. Back in the booth.
What is this?
We can talk about the ship of Theseus. How many car parts do you replace in your project car? A different.
You cut out? Sorry, you cut out there.
I apologize. How many parts in your project car do you replace before it's not your car, that same project car anymore? Ship of Theseus, project car of Theseus.
I see what you're saying. That's an interesting thought experiment. So, but if they're your parts, then it's. Wait, hold on, what?
Well, you're buying new parts and you're putting it into the same car, right?
So at what point does it not become the same car? Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, so it's not about your ownership, it's about the okay. I think
it's not going through different people, because the answer is when someone steals your car, that's their car now.
Yeah, okay. We're on the same page on that one. You know, for the ship of Theseus, I think that this is semantic, for one. Second off, I think that it doesn't matter how many parts you change, as long as they're original. I think if you start changing them to non-original parts, that's when you have broken Theseus.
Okay. So like if I go to my Toyota Corolla, my bone stock Toyota Corolla,
yeah, and you straight pipe it, you have officially broken the rules. Yeah.
New car. I have a new car.
Well, it's not an. It's
not a
new to
car.
you.
That's
It's new to you.
Car.
It's a different car. Yes, It is a yes. It is a different car. Yes.
Any ship of Theseus enjoyers in chat? Any opinions on this? Because I have some very strong opinions about this. It's actually that the car never changes, and it's, even if you replaced every single part of the vehicle, it is still the same vehicle because it's all a concept.
Yeah, I mean, I can also agree with that. I think that is, like, this is why it was kind of semantic, is the first thing. I agree with
That's just
both.
Semantics and lovely things going on here.
But you are right-ish, I suppose.
I think that's fair. I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. When I opened this book, Ship of Theseus was under the less important myths section of the book. Right in between Midas and...
How is Midas in the least important? Wait, hold up, what?
Okay, dude. It's a dude that, like, when he touches people, they turn to gold. What is that important?
I don't know, if you want, like, extreme wealth or things like that, it's pretty dope. That's gonna be like saying that's like saying the hermetic seal is useless. Like, what the heck?
Okay. Well, that's not true at all, because the hermetic seal is just might. I mean... Okay, we're getting true semantics. That we've lost the plot, I think.
Blame Dr. Porkchop on this one. He has derailed us with Greek mythology. Okay.
It's true. It's so true. This is a good time. This is a good time to do a breathing exercise, something like that. If you're watching at home.
Yeah, but Greek mythology is metal, though. Like, let's real talk. It's pretty cool.
Greek mythology class, yeah.
I can't see. I haven't. That's pretty cool. I just like studying Greek mythology. I think it's dope.
Yeah, that's entirely fair. I think Chase Your Passions is a good thing to mark in sim racing, such as the Quest of the Golden Fleece. That's a good story. You have not read that. Anyway. Quinn Smith in first, 36 laps so far, 35 laps into this race. I feel like for some reason that's wrong, but the 23-minute mark we're approaching. Those 4 cars on the top of the pile have yet to pit just yet. Denarte is the de facto leader right now. All the orange markers by those cars on the top left are still need to pit. The greens have done their 1 mandatory pit stop in this hour and 20-minute race. As we approach an hour in, looks like Denarte is going to maybe catch up to Kenneth Portis before Portis can get to the pits.
He is, but you made a comment here that I don't agree with. I do not think Tiago Denarte is our de facto leader. I think taking the tires was the wrong strategy, and Quinn Smith is going to prove it and shove it down Tiago Denarte's throat on this occasion, because the gap is over 35 seconds to the lead, and a pit stop. Quinn Smith is not taking tires. At this stage, he is not going to be taking tires. Neither is Jonathan Clifford. Neither is Anthony Kelly, and I doubt Kenneth Portis is. Kenneth is, yeah, he's definitely one for the Wolves here, no doubt. Denarte is going to eat him up for breakfast. Now, Anthony Kelly is questionable. I think that Anthony will lose the position off the pit stop, but Jonathan and Quinn, I do not think will. I think they will remain out, and I think Tiago Denarte is going to be in third.
I'm going to go second for Denarte. I believe that gap is going to close, and Clifford, I mean, it depends on Clifford pits, because you can still pit now and still, I don't know. It depends on what these drivers are trying to do. I would not pit. I would have pit in either like 40 minutes ago, or with your second to last lap, you probably should. But it's going to be interesting to see just how these drivers can collect themselves, as Denarte just will keep carving, but somehow, some way, Quinn Smith is just, I mean, the lack of tires is bizarre to me, because you only lose 5 seconds, and somehow Quinn Smith is a little bit more than that ahead than just 5 seconds was the pit stop.
No, you don't lose just 5 seconds. There's no fixed pit time. This is not like the other series. This is a 8-second stationary stop, so you're going to spend an entire time of about maximum 25 seconds. So you're not going to spend any more than 25 seconds in the entire lane.
Oh, true.
Because that's what we saw from the previous drive, where we saw them pit the Honda NSX. They only stopped for about 25 seconds.
Okay. And that makes a lot more sense. We used to have that be a rule where you had 2 orts in the series. But we're going to take a look at that sexy number 3 McLaren. Ooh, beautiful.
Yo, this looks like my helmet.
Gross, but I really enjoyed it. Looks like your house?
No, my helmet. I think... I remember, so Albert, was it Albert Tranghese that asked that question too? Because Albert just partook in
Curtis.
That was Curtis. Okay, either way. I know that Tranghese took part in a competition recently in designing a livery or like a helmet, basically, for racing, and his design was very similar to the one that I use in real life as well. So this is shockingly similar to, minus the pink. I don't have any pink on my helmet, unfortunately, but other than that, this is like literally the helmet that I use in real life. This is dope. The blue, golden, or the blue, white, and gold highlights. That's sick.
Yeah, I don't really have a helmet anymore, and I also always just wore an all-black helmet, so I don't have anything to relate to other than my baseball mitts. I use mine, but I had a white and pink one that I just purchased recently, a tan or beige and pink one that is reminiscent. You gotta love the lighter color, the pink and the just an underrated color combo. Mike, since we've got so much time until the pit stops start coming, what do we think? What is your favorite color combos?
You know that it really depends. I don't think I have a favorite, quote unquote. Hold that thought. Actually, this is going to be probably a quick overtake. We'll come back to that here in a moment. Thiago Donate into the Shell Oil corner, right behind Kenneth Portis II, and again, this is a matter of when, not if. Kenneth still has to pit, and he knows that. He does not need to hold Thiago up. This is only going to hurt Thiago's race, actually, so the longer we stick behind here, the higher chance that Jonathan Clifford has of staying ahead after the pit stop phase, and I think he's going to wait pretty much as late as he possibly can to go for the stop. Thiago, not able to get by on this occasion. This is going to sting.
Yeah, I mean, this is that's really unfortunate here, and being behind Portis is, we've seen Portis have really good defense earlier, but this is not a battle for, I mean, Portis doesn't have to let Donate by, and we've seen Portis make decisions earlier that may have affected their race, but they're defensive nonetheless, and a good take. Blue and orange, the best color combo. Go Syracuse orange, go Syracuse orange. Blue and orange, objectively a great color combo. Not my favorite, but Thiago Donate is going to be seeing red right now with Portis not letting them by.
Yeah, most certainly so. That Honda NSX he wants to put in the rearview mirror quicker than a quick thing in Quicksville. I think I do have the answer. I actually really do think that golden white or golden black is my favorite color combos. It's just sick. It just pops so hard. My jersey that I use right now is golden white with black highlights. My helmet is golden black or golden blue with golden black and blue with gold highlights. Either way, I need to look at my helmet to clearly describe the colors, but again, pay no mind to the man behind the curtain. We've been rambling for nearly over an hour here, and also a drive-through penalty for Alves.
Tough work. Gonna drop them down, not by a huge amount, but you're gonna lose some positions there, probably 2, probably fall behind Silver, but Alves is gonna have to deal with the consequences of their own actions, which is the worst thing to deal with in sim racing, truly. But I think, Mike, I'm gonna have to go. I'm really preferential to white, red, and blue. White, red, and blue.
That's a great shout. I like all of those colors and in various orientations as well. Not just, the American flag. It's a great color combo on that as well, but it's just a great color combo for flags. Oh goodness.
Oh.
Speaking of red, white, and blue, Gil Silverin, the American Mustang. He is facing the wall.
Yeah, that's a good point by Neil as well in chat. Yellow and black pops very easily.
Yellow, black, gold, black.
The Habs are eliminated. The Montreal Canadiens are in Hab. That was a good one. That was a really good one.
Made me think of Shades of the Dutch there for a moment. Either way, Thiago Donarte getting by into Cascades. No, not this time. Into Shell Oil, maybe. Not quite. He's going to try the long way around, but that banking is going to end up caressing him back onto the racing line, and no chance of getting by on this occasion. He's going to have to go for it in the next chicane. Well, not this chicane, the next chicane.
Yeah, so Anthony Kelly's in 7th. So...
Holy... He took tires. No, he repaired. He didn't take tires, but he repaired.
Ooh. Okay. I was like, something had to have happened to Kelly there. But, yeah, Thiago Donarte is essentially losing this race as they look longer and longer. Kenneth Portis' black bumper. I mean, it is black. Back bumper. The diffuser would be black there, but... Yeah, this is one that hurts and stings and doesn't feel great. And when I'm talking about white, blue, and red as a color combo, I'm talking white as the primary color. I'm talking a lot of white, red as a secondary, blue as a tertiary.
Okay. Sure. I'm for it. Again, I'm not too particular with colors.
Let's search up right now the Tokyo Yakult Swallows baseball team, NPB, Nippon Baseball League. And go to their home jerseys. That's the color combo I'm talking. Just beautiful.
As long as it doesn't look like they're wearing pajamas. That's one of my biggest problems with some of the MLB uniforms this year is they just look like they're wearing pajamas.
Any thoughts on the White Sox City Connects?
The Whites? No, I have no idea what you're talking about. I do know.
I'll show you later, but Donarte.
No.
That door slammed shut. It's like a carousel in front of the hotel going the wrong way. It's hitting you, and the door is slamming shut for Donarte, who is dealing with the lovely experience of Oulton.
Yes, this is the nature of the beast of Oulton Park, unfortunately. 43 meters of elevation to tackle, and none of it helping the Ford Mustang GT3 out for this time. 15 minutes on the clock left to go. Still, top 3 needing to make their pit stops. They're going to do so in a fairly timely manner. Kenneth might slide into trouble. He'll be close. Jonathan Clifford's safe, and Quinn Smith's safe at this occasion. And especially the more this keeps up.
Yeah, we'll see if Smith has any trouble at this point, it feels like. I mean, Portis is... the defense that Portis is putting on, it's like, I mean, I'm watching somebody who is probably going to be elected the DPOY, the Defensive Player of the Year of this race. I mean, this is crazy. This is just generally crazy. I have no idea how... I mean, because you saw some defense earlier from other drivers. But he does it like Kenneth Portis in that tiny NSX. Slams the door shut once again into this section. Donarte just has no way by, tries to make a move, and it seems Kenneth Portis is 4 steps ahead, just in the matrix, knows what's coming.
Yeah, and Thiago Donarte is going to be hotter than a firecracker right now, trying to go for a move at literally every opportunity he can. Tries to the inside, it doesn't work. Let's go to the outside, why not? It doesn't work again. This chicane, good luck making an attempt through it. It is too tight, twisty, especially for the Ford Mustang through Britain's. But now, down towards Hislop, this is where you can make a move. But Thiago, he's not close enough.
Speaking of random thoughts, I believe Kenneth Portis is a Canadian, so this is relevant. I just found out Shirley Temples are made with, not a Canadian at all. The other NSX was a Canadian. Anyway, that's not the NSX, but Donarte still chasing. Shirley Temples are made with OJ in Canada.
What do you mean?
Orange juice.
Did they put?
They put
Yeah,
orange
but
juice in the Shirley
like
Temple.
just like a splash. So it's still a
No,
Shirley
like
Temple.
it's the substitute. No, it's the substitute for the.
There's no cherry juice.
No cherry juice. It's just OJ.
So it's just an orange juice then.
Yes, that is the worst thing I've ever heard. That is terrifying.
Shirley Temples are bomb though.
With pulp?
No, like real Shirley Temple. Oh my goodness! Speaking of seeing red, that is Tiago Denarte getting very upset and charging at this Honda like a bull. And currently, the Matador Kenneth Portis is going to be sweating like a cow in a burger joint right now. Down to Shell Oil, no chance.
Yeah, if you're of age, you'll be probably needing an adult beverage after this one. If you're Denarte, this is a tough one. This is a really tough one to experience. Door gets slammed shut. It sucks. And yes, that's a really good point from Jacob Curtis.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, you're 100% right that it's basically just a non-alcoholic mimosa. But mimosas with champagne, though. I guess, but that's still the same thing.
Dude.
Wait, hold on. I've never had a mimosa.
Okay. Okay, Mike. I am not either. I just understand.
I didn't know that's actually what a mimosa was.
Yeah. It's
I thought mimosas had like coconut in them or something. I don't know, man.
What?
I don't drink.
Whoa.
I don't drink much alcohol, so I don't know. Either way, Tiago trying to swallow the whiskey that he's going to be having to deal with right now, and it's a bitter taste in his mouth. And finally, Kenneth Portis, he goes into pit lane. All of that time wasted for Tiago.
Yeah, that's the wall of Portis. Wow. What a job from Portis there to basically give Quinn Smith the win at a certain point. So Denarte is the car you're seeing right now in red, and Quinn Smith just crossed the Sector 3 mark. So there's still a chance if Quinn Smith hits a wall or two, but the Quinnalicious machine is going to be drinking some delicious champagne. Wow. Champagne in Victory Lane here soon.
He's sipping on mimosas himself. Or, as Jacob Curtis is saying, Madonnas. Apparently, I don't know. Again, Madonna. I don't.
Madonna.
Oh, no, that's not the pit lane. Okay, never mind. I thought he was speaking in pit lane. That is Madonna. Madonna? Sharona? My Sharona? Awesome. I don't know. I'm not dyslexic. Really You're dyslexic.
Well, you can't just do that. Take it back. I don't want it.
I don't want it either, but I have to live with it.
Okay. Okay, we've lost the plot. I'm sorry. That was mean. I didn't mean it like that. Sincere apology to Mike, guys. That was my fault.
It's okay. I'm used to it. I struggle to read between the lines anyways.
I have my glasses on, so it's kind of similar. I needed glasses, I found out.
I have.
I couldn't see it. I couldn't see anything while I was streaming last year, which made it really hard to read names, and I found out that I needed glasses. I thought that just was like everyone was just like, yeah, like I can't see anything either past 5 feet.
When you put your glasses on for the first time, was it like you pushed the HD button?
Oh my gosh. I can go to baseball games and read the jerseys. I thought that was completely normal for it to be too far. Well, read the jerseys, like tell that it was text at like a distance.
Yeah. No, I'm in the same boat actually. I technically need glasses, but the glasses that I have are too good. They make my head hurt, and so I never went back and got the prescription changed because I'm lazy like that.
Get contacts. Get contacts.
I don't want contacts or glasses, quite frankly, so it's fine. It's just one more thing for me to forget, and I don't want to forget them.
Solid point.
So if I don't have them, I can't forget them. It's the same philosophy with coats. That's why I don't bring coats in public too much. It's because I'm very likely to forget them. So I'd rather just be cold and not wear one than forget it and then not have it.
Just don't take it off, Mike.
No, but I get too hot though. Nah, like my body temperature is just astronomically hot. So I have.
No, I actually.
Don't worry.
I actually get you. I had that problem today. I wore my coat and I was like, God, I'm so hot, and it's like 20 and windy. Yeah, I mean,
it's easier to get.
Speaking of hot, Quinn Smith.
I don't know. Yeah, Quinn Smith is driving pretty hot, and at this point has sealed himself the victory. There's absolutely no question about it. Spent 27 seconds through the pit lanes, a little bit slow. Jonathan Clifford, 25 seconds. Thiago Donarte, though, 5.5 seconds off of Clifford. He's not out of the woods yet, is Jonathan Clifford, but Thiago Donarte, if only he didn't have Anthony Kelly holding him up for nearly 10 laps, he might actually have a chance of P2.
It was actually Kenneth Portis, but yeah, Portis essentially just shut the door for Donarte on that second position there, and gonna lose some points because of it. But I'm not sure is Donarte in the championship race?
He's in for P2.
It's gonna make P2 just a little bit harder, but unfortunately P1 is in front of you, so not too much worse.
Yeah,
could use the extra point, but Donarte gonna be all right.
Jonathan Clifford has, I don't think, after this race, I don't know if he can mathematically lose the championship. It's close. He might still technically be able to lose the championship after this one with 2 DNFs, but he does still have, if he was to double DNF, let's just say he would, he still has a drop round for one of those, and then his worst result would be a P9, and then a DNF. So he would, I think he's fine, is what I'm getting at here.
How many race wins does Clifford have?
2. 2 race wins to his name. We have 1 from Mike Vasquez. We have... Who the heck else is winning races? Where is Quinn? Quinn, did you win any? No, Quinn didn't win any. This is going to be Quinn's first win of the season.
Woo! Let's go.
Just get contacts and then never remove them, then you can't forget them. Brilliant.
It's actually true. Yeah, that's the idea. That's certainly one of them that you are allowed to do. I can't say I recommend it.
Yeah, we're not doctors, and we do not recommend that. But hey,
no, don't do it. No, that's actually, you don't need to be a doctor to take your contact lenses out and clean them.
Especially
Bionic eyes, though.
Yo,
good shout.
Great shout, actually, though. Like, when AI takes over and all of a sudden and I can become partly robotic and I can have basically Google Glass in my eyes, dude, that will be the day.
Could Cyberpunk 2077 be a sim racing esport? Could we find a way?
I don't know enough about Cyberpunk 2077, but...
Not even multiplayer, you know? That's a pretty hard barrier to start.
But nah, Bionic Eyes are a good shout.
See the Fortnite sim racing? That's awesome. That's
Fortnite
metal.
sim racing.
Yes. It's more just Fortnite racing.
I was gonna say this is not yeah, okay. Are people doing it with their wheels?
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I mean Fortnite is compatible with a wheel if you set it up correctly, but like I don't know if the wheel, like I don't think the game works properly enough for you, like in a way that the wheel would be possible to work.
I've seen people play CSGO with flight sticks. I don't see much of a difference.
I think CSGO on a wheel.
Yeah. Maybe that's what you could stream after, Carson.
Yeah, CSGO on a wheel?
That'd be pretty sick.
That'd be horrifying.
Are you going to stream after this, Carson, or no?
I am going to stream after this.
Okay, well, there we go. So, everyone, we'll be raiding Carson, hopefully, if he gets up live in time. We'll make sure that we raid him at the end.
The Roblox NASCAR races, amazing shout. I actually love the Roblox NASCAR races. They are some of the most fun, intense racing I have ever seen. Roblox NASCAR is a niche sim racing, is an awesome niche sim racing thing. I cannot.
I actually believe that. I mean, I'm sure it exists. I have no reason to deny it, but that sounds awesome.
It is. I mean, it's very accessible, obviously, and that's the best kind of esport, is the one that anybody can join in. I can play with my family friend who's 7 years old, and we can go hop on a game of Roblox NASCAR, and it'd be the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. And it's truly an amazing thing. The internet is unreal, and yeah. But Anthony Kelly, 6th place driver right now. We'll get back into the race. 2 minutes close in. 2 minutes 2.645 behind Vasquez. Going to have to sit in 6th place. No real chance to lose it or gain it. But a really good performance put on by Kelly, and a really beautiful livery put on by Kelly tonight.
It is. That is a truly brilliant livery. And let's talk positions gained. He's the biggest gainer, tied for it, that is. Four positions gained from P10 up into 6th. 4 positions gained for Quinn, 4 positions gained for Jonathan, and also 3 positions gained for Gil, Stefan, and Chrono. So despite the fact that they are down at the bottom, they've still managed to climb their way up the ranks from where they started. Alves down 4 positions, down 1 for Donate. Williams down 1 from 3rd as well. That's your movers and shakers. A lot of movers and a couple shakers, all things considered. Not too many dramatic issues in this session, obviously barring the few elephants in the room. But it's been a good race.
Yeah, I mean, the early laps were... to say, I guess the thing to say would be, it was dangerous. It was a lot of fun, but most people made it out alive. The real kickers came towards the end. You see some of those repairs. But as Quinn Smith rounds for the final time, the 999 machine, what a performance by Smith.
Yeah, we'll go on board with him for a little bit here to see what it's like. I'd imagine this lap's going to be fairly reserved. Now, Quinn's not one to just dial it back 100% and cruise to the victory. He's going to still push all the way till the checkered flag. It's not over till it's over, folks, and anything can happen in racing, and it normally does. Jonathan Clifford, 11.5 seconds to the back. Tiago Donate managed to gain to Clifford, but not enough to threaten for an overtake. It was 5.5 seconds, down to 3 seconds, and by the end of this lap, probably about 2.5. So gaining nearly half a second per lap, not enough to make a dent into the equation there, and Jonathan Clifford is going to be walking away with this P2 and going to hold P1 in the championship. Quinn Smith gaining a crucial haul of points himself as he negotiates the final chicane and through the right-hander into the final sector. Just a couple corners left to go before the checkered flag falls for round 6 of the Next Level Racing GT3 Pro Series here at Oulton Park. And Quinn Smith, his debut victory as well. It's been a long season. It's something that I would not have expected to say. But Quinn, after a hard-fought championship, still 2 rounds left to go. Bathurst is up next. He's going to be riding high onto the mountain. Quinn Smith takes victory at Oulton Park.
What a drive from the American here. Quinn-alicious is a good adjective to describe it as Jonathan Clifford, following close behind first place in the championship, and this should just about seal it. As long as they remain on track for the last 2 races, the 99 car comes in second. Silver, Thiago Donate, leading for a while, will end up in the bronze position. That 20 suffered to Kenneth Portis, and grabbing tires, Chandler Williams saw some argy-bargy, went 4th. A good start and a good race for them. That 7 car, good recovery as Mark Vasquez chases the Ferrari behind.
And Mike Vasquez coming home in 5th. I do want to apologize as well. We're not going to be doing interviews here tonight. I am starving and I need to eat. So I do apologize for that. This went on later than I expected, so that's my bad. But again, we'll be rating Carson after this one. So Carson will be live very shortly. We'll be getting on that, and he will... We'll get you guys over into his audience as well. But right now, Alves taking home P8 with the fastest lap. Alex Freeman 9th, Gil Silverin in 10th, Stephen Buckley 11th, and last but not least, Professor Chronotis with not 1, but 2 stop-go 30 penalties.
Truly an unbelievable performance from Professor Chronotis. Not somebody get 2 penalties and still have such a fun race. I mean, Professor Chronotis always wins this, and let's be honest.
He wins in our hearts, at the very least.
It's true.
That's
true.
So I'm just pulling up Carson's stream info so I can raid the right person. There we go. Again, you gotta love live TV, folks. Let's head back to the booth. And welcome back, everybody, as we get out of ACC before my game crashes and get the mute button on it. We can leave the ACC song up in the background. Why not? Why not?
No, we're not.
What a race. Oh, Carson's in a NASCAR, folks. He is.
Hey, that's a Porsche. That's a Porsche. That's a Lexus, actually. It's from the Lexus charity stream we did right before I went to college in August last year. That was funny, but I don't know why that's on. that turned itself on. But anyway, what a race. What
a race. Absolutely. Great racing, everyone. Stay safe, says Doc Milwee. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, big thank you to everybody in the audience for tuning in. Again, apologies to the drivers on this one for the lack of interviews. I need to eat. I'm starving. I'm so hungry. Again, we'll be rating Carson. Carson, when is your stream coming up?
It can come up right now if you want.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do the rating thing right now.
It should be up. Are we seeing my stream?
You are.
You can see the frame drop in my camera. That's awesome.
Confirmed live. There we go. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Woo!
Holy, what in, okay.
Oh, I forgot about the starting shoot screen.
We are going to be rating Carson, everybody. He is going to be doing some
Le Mans Ultimate. We're doing that Tuesday race. Everybody go sign up for more Trackalicious events. I'll be racing with you on Tuesday if you want to join the multi-class Le Mans Ultimate race. We're going to be practicing for that just by racing because I haven't in a really long time. And I'm excited for that. We're going to have such a good time over there. So go jump in. Go stick around. We're going to just be chilling for a while. So no worries.
Absolutely. And on that note, folks, we are going to be calling. And I hope everybody has... Wait, we got to raid. We're going to raid first.
That's true.
No interviews. Sorry, no interviews tonight. My apologies. We are going to be wrapping this one up. Head on over to Carson's stream, everybody. And on that note, I hope everybody has a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. Thank you, and good night.